And gentlemen, I call to order the June 2022 meeting of the Escambia County School Board. Whether you are joining us via our live stream or in the audience, we appreciate your interest in the education of the students of Escambia County. I ask that you silence your cell phones at this time. I remind you that if you wish to speak at either an agenda item at the public hearings for policy changes or at the public forum, you must complete a speaker request form found on the table at the rear of the room and bring it forward to Ms. Harris at the front table. It is the board's practice to pull items to the consent agenda when someone asks to speak to them. The consent agenda includes curriculum instruction, finance, human resource, and operations. You must submit your speaker form prior to the approval of the consent agenda. The meeting was properly advertised in the Pensacola News Journal on June 1st, 2022. Legal notice number 5265565. It is tradition of the Escambia County School Board to begin our meetings with an invocation or motivational moment, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. This month, I will lead us. I have Minister Seth Levins from the First Pentecostal Church. Please come forward for the invocation. Please stand. Remain standing for the pledge. Sir.
On behalf of Pastor Brian Kinsey, First Pentecostal Church in Pensacola, and myself, we'd like to thank the school board and the superintendent for this invitation. We thank each of you for your dedication to our community, schools, and students, and we bless you in Jesus' name. Let us bow our heads. Thank you, Lord, for this opportunity that we have been given to impact the lives of our students, to help them reach their full potential. We ask that you give each school board member, Dr. Smith, every district leader, principal, teacher, and support staff the wisdom they need to fulfill their duties. We ask you protect our schools and students. We speak the name of Jesus over every person that steps foot on our campuses. Let the peace of God dwell there. Go with us, Lord, as we strive to help our students become all that they can be. We speak your blessing over our school district. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Please join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir. At this time, we will move to the adoption of the agenda. Mr. Superintendent, are there any additions, deletions to your recommended agenda?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We do have a few this evening. I'll start with Section 13, Consent Curriculum High School Education. Item D is an add, cooperative agreement between the School Board of Escambia County, Florida, and Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northwest Florida. Under Section 15, Consent Curriculum Professional Learning. Item B, add-on certification program for driver education endorsement 2022 to 2027. We have two items under Section 16, Consent Curriculum Student Services. Item A, delete, contract for mental health services between the School Board of Escambia County, Florida, and Children's Home Society of Florida, Western Region. And then item B is an add for the same descriptor. Under Section 22, Consent Finance Budgeting, item F, add, disposal and demolition of portables number 449 at Sherwood Elementary School and number 413 at Tate High School. And under Section 24, Consent Finance Purchasing, item II is an add, emergency purchase of delivery box truck for food services. Item JJ, add, annual software agreement, Unique Learning and News to You. And item KK, add, agreement, professional development, the Flippin Group, DBA Capturing Kids' Hearts. And that concludes the adds and deletes.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. State statutes and school board rules require the changes made to the agenda after publication be based on a finding of good cause determined by the person designated to preside over the meeting and stated in the record. Finding in good cause. Is there any objection or from any board member to the additions or deletions? Okay. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended for good cause at this meeting?
I move the adoption of the amended agenda.
I'll second.
Discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
We have no committee or departmental reports or special recognitions this month. We will now begin public forum. The purpose of the public forum is, we don't have any speaker forums, do we? We do? Okay.
Got something right there.
That's one later.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. The purpose of the public forum is to give members of the public the opportunity to address the school board on any matter of concern, particularly regarding education and administrative of our schools. Thank you, Mr. Slayton. In this setting, we as board members are not compelled to answer the questions or respond to you, and normally would not engage in a back and forth dialogue in this venue. However, your concerns will be noted by this board and superintendent for a future response. As always, we invite you to contact any one of us or all of us by phone or email for follow-up. A list of our meeting times and locations is located on the Escambia County School District website. Speakers must adhere to the guidelines printed on the back of the form. On the form, please be sure to indicate whether your intention to speak at the public forum or a specific item on tonight's agenda. Please direct your comments to the chair. You are expected to be respectful in your address to the board. You are also asked to use titles and not individual names. Personal attacks against school board members, superintendent, staff, and employees will not be tolerated. If you fail to follow these guidelines, you'll be warned by the chair and subject to removal if violations continue. Each speaker will be allowed 3 minutes. Ms. Odom will serve as parliamentarian, Ms. Buswell as our timekeeper, and we will start the timer with your opening remarks. The buzzer will sound when your time has elapsed. Okay, our first speaker is Ben Sherrick. See if I said that right. Ben Sherrick, okay.
Thank you for your consideration thus far and our suggestions to the Rights and Responsibilities Handbook to be approved today. I have already expressed my concerns over a specific article twice before, and I'm happy that you have all considered it. Today at this public hearing, I want to express to you my dissatisfaction towards the formulation of this document revision because it is evident that there's a difference between what it purports to do and what it actually does. A document named Rights and Responsibilities should carry both in equal weight. I strongly believe that had the true stakeholders of this document, such as any student from my high school, had been more thoroughly engaged by any administration in this process, this document would have done a much better job at balancing rights and responsibilities. By the time we students were aware of any changes, it was almost too late to make even a minimal one. We ask only that students be involved further in this process in the future. We students look forward to working with you in the future on later iterations of this document so that we can be responsible for securing our own autonomy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. With no other speakers, public forum is now closed. Okay, we move to adoption of minutes. Next is approval of minutes. Is there any motion to approve the minutes as listed on the agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Moving on to the administrative appointments, the first item is administrative appointment. Is there a motion to approve the administrative appointments?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the superintendent's recommended appointments for the coming school year.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Mr. Superintendent, you're welcome to introduce our new appointees.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We have a number of appointments that we are making this evening. Our first individual, and we're going to welcome to come to the dais, is Georgiana Gordon. She is moving from a project manager with SEDNet and Fiddlers to the coordinator in Fiddlers, SEDNet and Fiddlers. So we welcome Georgiana.
Uh-oh, sorry.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
First, I'd like to say, excuse me, very emotional. I've been a student of Escambia School District, and it's just amazing to be in this moment right here in front of all of you. So thank you. Thank you, Superintendent Dr. Smith. Thank you, school board members. And I am looking forward as the new Fiddlers manager to leading my team and serving this community on a larger capacity. Thank you again for the opportunity. Thank you.
We have Tammy Douglas, who was the assistant principal at Myrtle Grove Elementary, moving into the principal position at Sherwood Elementary.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Smith, board members, executive staff. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve in our community as the principal of Sherwood Elementary School. First and foremost, I would like to thank God for the many blessings He has given to me over the last 23 years as an educator in Escambia County. My family, my mom and dad, who instilled a strong work ethic in me, always encouraged me to go after my dreams and stood beside me with unconditional love. Through everything, my husband Jason and my daughter Maddie, they have been there with me through every victory, every defeat, always encouraging me to keep going and always believing in me. My soul sisters, for every encouraging word and every prayer they prayed for me on my journey. Robin and Gina, Myrtle Grove is so very blessed to have you as their leaders. You both have taught me so much in the last year. Thank you for always having my back and believing in me. You both mean the world to me, but just know you are both on speed dial. Do not block my number. When I first began my career as an ESC pre-K teacher, I had no idea that 23 years later I would stand before you accepting this position. I was young and administration was not even a thought. As I continued my career, my sweet director at the time, Miss Paula Jones Martin, Big Mama as we all affectionately called her, saw something in me that I had yet to discover. She would say, "Pet, you're going to run this place someday, I just know it." Thank you, Big Mama, for planting that seed. Wish you were here to celebrate with me today. In closing, I would like to share a quote with you by Maya Angelou. I have learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. I stand here today and I pledge to make my students, teachers, staff, and families feel supported, empowered, and appreciated each and every day. Again, thank you for having the confidence in me and giving me the opportunity to be a Sherwood Archer. Thank you.
We have Erica Foster coming from the state of Tennessee. She will be the new assistant principal at Beulah Middle School.
Welcome to Florida.
First, I would like to thank Dr. Smith, Dr. Payne, and the school board for giving me this opportunity to lead in this district. I am elated to be a part of the Escambia School District, and I look forward to working with the teachers, the students, and the community in Beulah community. I look forward to working with the teachers, especially getting to know the students and learning about Beulah community. So I thank you again for this opportunity. Have a great one.
Dawn Fulton is coming from a subject area math specialist TSA position to become the new assistant principal at Bellevue Middle School.
Congratulations.
I am proud to be able to be one of the new assistant principals at Bellevue Middle, where we are going to exhibit pride, purpose, and perseverance. It is so exciting to be part of this new administrative team. To be given the opportunity to support the teachers, administrators, the support staff, parents, and especially the students is not taken lightly on me. Thank you for this amazing opportunity. I would like to also thank all the educators and the support staff that has been in my path so far, and especially all of my students. You will always be my students for all that they have taught me in my journey. Lastly, my work family. And my family. Thank you for all your support. I love you all. Thank you for this amazing opportunity. We can't wait to show you what we've got planned for Bellevue.
Brandy Gentry is coming from Pace, where she was a principal there, to the new assistant principal, also at Bellevue Middle School.
I am honored to be named one of the assistant principals of Bellevue Middle School, where we exhibit pride, purpose, and perseverance. I would like to thank the board, Dr. Smith, Ms. Payne, Mr. Marcanio, and Dr. Roberts for providing me with this opportunity. I would also like to thank my family for always being supportive of me in everything that I do. I'm excited to bring my knowledge and experience of working with youth to Bellevue Middle School and be a part of the Bellevue community. I look forward to working with the students, families, faculty, staff, and the administrative team as we partner to increase student achievement while we guide and develop our young warriors to be confident, strive for excellence, and know they have adults that care for them. Go Warriors.
Gina Hoyland is the curriculum coordinator at Myrtle Grove Elementary. She is becoming the assistant principal at Myrtle Grove Elementary.
Oh my goodness, my preacher says that people's number one fear is public speaking, and I totally get it. I've got my notes so I don't forget what to say. That Dr. Smith, board members, and executive staff, I am super excited and thankful for the opportunity to continue my educational journey as the assistant principal at Myrtle Grove. The 23 years that I've worked in this district have gotten me to this point. I am grateful for all of the past administrations that I have worked under, but I am especially thankful for my current admin team, Robin and Tammy, who have mentored me, they have encouraged me, they have prayed for me, they have loved me, they have laughed with me, they have cried with me, and they have believed in me. I would also like to thank my family for all the love and support that they have given me and for being my biggest cheerleaders throughout my whole entire career. I recently watched a TED Talk by John Paul Gonzalez where he spoke about being all in. Webster's defines all in as fully committed to or involved in something. And that is what I am committing to this school year, to be all in for my students, the families, my faculty, and for this district. Thank you, and I am looking forward to an amazing 22-23 school year.
Paul Lovely is coming from out of the area, from Orange County. He will be the new principal at Bellevue Middle School.
Greetings, I am Paul Lovely, and I'm proud to serve as the new principal of Bellevue Middle School, where we exhibit pride, purpose, and perseverance. Greetings to the school board. Thank you to Dr. Tim Smith, Deputy Superintendent Ms. Sheena Payne, and my middle school director, Dr. Roberts. Thank you all for selecting me and entrusting me to serve as the principal for the Bellevue community. I would like to thank my colleague, Saraya Miller, who encouraged me to return home to Pensacola. Even though I was away, I've always stayed connected with the community here. I want to express my appreciation to my former supervisors and colleagues in the Orange County Public System who helped to foster all the experiences I've had that I will bring to Bellevue Middle School. I would like to thank my family, siblings, and friends who have encouraged me and supported me through my educational career. My favorite verse is "The steps of a good man are ordered." I pay special homage to my heavenly parents, Lawrence C. and Ellis Marie Lovely, who helped pave the way and instilled in me the value of education. And also, they served and dedicated and retired in the Escambia County School District. I am humbled and honored to follow in their footsteps. Thank you.
Angela Mott is an MTSS coordinator at Home Elementary. She will be the new assistant principal at Beulah Elementary.
Thank you, Dr. Smith, Dr. Payne, and school board members for this opportunity. I've been very blessed to work with many wonderful educators as well as work under and alongside some amazing leaders during my 24 years with our school district. My family and church have also been an incredible blessing as well. God showed me many years ago that my career was not just my career, but a part of my ministry for Him as well. My husband, family, and church family have helped me bless many students, families, and coworkers over the years, which has helped me build strong relationships within our school community. As I spent the last 2 years serving and supporting the students and faculty at Home Elementary, I was afforded the opportunity to learn many valuable leadership skills. I will forever be grateful for the time I spent working alongside Ms. Fina and Ms. Fetzko. That being said, I spent 14 years of my career serving the Beulah community as a teacher, and I am beyond excited about returning home to serve and support the students and faculty as assistant principal at Beulah. In my many goodbyes to Beulah 2 years ago, I often said, once a Beulah Wildcat, always a Beulah Wildcat. So I thank you again for this amazing opportunity.
Tara Palaciano has been the interim middle school principal at Bellevue Middle. She now will be the new principal at Bailey Middle School.
Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Smith, Deputy Superintendent Ms. Payne, the Escambia County School Board members, and Dr. Roberts, Director of Middle School. Thank you for this opportunity to serve the children and teachers of Escambia County. I feel so blessed to be able to continue to pursue my passion. I would also like to thank my daughter, who has encouraged and supported me every day on my journey as well, and my closest friends, who are just a call away in their support of me. Also, a thank you to my mentors, Dr. Reggie Lipnick and Malia Adams, who have both led by example and guided and taught me so much about leadership. To my Bellevue family, I love you, I will miss you, and you are always in my heart. To my Bailey family, I will work alongside of you every day to make a positive impact on the lives of children. I am truly humbled to be chosen as the principal of Bailey Middle School, and I'm excited to see what this year is to bring for all of us. Thank you so much.
Nancy Prout is curriculum coordinator at Brentwood Elementary. She now becomes the assistant principal at Montclair Elementary.
Good evening, Dr. Smith and the school board. I am honored to be given the opportunity to serve the students, faculty, staff, and families of Montclair Elementary School as assistant principal for the 22-23 school year. I look forward to partnering with Shona Person, principal of Montclair. Together, we will make a strong and united team. I would like to take this opportunity to say a special thank you to a few fellow educators who have taught me so much over the years. Thank you, Connie Farish, for teaching me everything there is to know about data-informed instruction. Thank you, Patty Thomas, for your input, guidance, and support, and encouragement as Brentwood's director. Thank you, Jennifer Sewell, who, of course, has always seen my passion and trusted my decisions even when I questioned my own path. And finally, Quinn Evans, who graciously shared all of her knowledge and everything elementary. These women are brilliant and in so many different ways, and I am blessed to have learned from each of them. Thank you all for your time this evening. I look forward to this challenge.
Kathy Rudd is moving from an assistant principal position at Beulah Elementary to become the principal at Westgate Center.
Good evening. I would first like to thank the board and Dr. Smith's team for entrusting me with Escambia County School District's most vulnerable students. It is a privilege to serve as a leader in our district, but to be charged with leading Escambia Westgate to fulfill our vision of uniting for everyone to succeed is an honor. I promise to do all in my power to ensure every student makes growth in academics and social skills. Additionally, I would like to say a few words of thanks to those who have helped me on the journey. Dr. Patty Thomas, you trusted me with a fourth grade classroom while I was still attending UWF. I'm glad you didn't go to my room very much. And that act of faith gave me the confidence I needed to finish school and dare to become a teacher. Kelly Crosstag, giving me the opportunity to be a consulting teacher, taught me how to be a mentor and encourage growth in others. And Kelly actually predicted this day, so thank you again, Kelly. Brian Alaback, you came in extra early once a week to meet with me and mentor me as I was preparing for the job of assistant principal. I still reflect on the many ideas he instilled in me. Of course, Dr. Harris and Ms. Silvers have taught me a great deal about administration, and I sincerely hope they will continue to do so. To my son, David, thank you for teaching me the wisdom of do for one what you cannot do for all. And finally, to my husband, Ray, thank you for your never-ending love and support. You have patiently listened to endless stories like Bill Wright's being listed as a founding father on a test. You have attended sports events, dinners, and dance recitals of children you do not know. And never once have you complained about the books, classroom decorations, groceries, shoes, and even hotel rooms that we have paid for. Your steadfast support has made today possible, and with you by my side, I know Westgate will continue to grow and succeed. Thank you, everyone.
Rachel Simmons is moving from the dean position at West Florida Technical High to an administrator on special assignment with Jeremy Tompkins.
Thank you to Superintendent Dr. Tim Smith, Deputy Superintendent, Ms. Sheena Payne, committee members, school board committee members, for your trust and the opportunity to continue serving the students of Escambia County. Thank you, Ms. Shannon, for your support through this process and encouragement you provided as the principal of West Florida High School. Thank you, Jeremy Tompkins, for your vote of confidence and for moving forward on your vision to expand your team. And I look forward to working more closely with you as we strive to continue to keep all students in a safe, productive learning environment. Thank you to my mother, who has always been my biggest supporter and the wind beneath my wings. To all of my family and friends who are either here in person or watching via live stream, I thank you as well for all the support you provide for me and for my daughter. To my daughter, who had to complete her homework in my office or from my vehicle while I covered many football, basketball, lacrosse, tennis, and many other extracurricular activities, I love you. It is an absolute honor and a privilege to have this opportunity to advance to this next level of my career. After 16 years in the classroom, 5 years elementary at Brentwood Elementary School, 4 years in middle school, 3 years at Wedgewood, 1 year at Woodham Middle School, and 7 years in the classroom at West Florida High School, and 7 years as the administrative dean. I'm sure there will be some adjustments from not interacting with and hearing the chattering of the students in the hallway and covering lunch duty, bus duty, parking lot duty on a daily basis. Yet I will adjust accordingly and press forward. I'm ready to shift gears and embrace my position as administrator on special assignment. Once again, thank you to all who have encouraged me along the way and challenged me to try new avenues and opportunities. May God's blessings continue to be with you all. Thank you.
Charmaine Sutherland is coming from the University of West Florida. She will be the new subject area specialist for PE, health, wellness, and driver's ed.
Thank you, Superintendent Smith, Deputy Superintendent Payne, and the Escambia County School Board. I'm honored and grateful. Also, I'd like to thank my family and Cassandra Manis for all of their support. I look forward to bringing my background, experience, and innovation to our school district, as well as building upon the solid foundation already established in physical education, health education, driver's education, and wellness. I know I can support. I know I can help our district. I know I can help our students. We know that these subjects support our students on their journey to become well-rounded, productive citizens. I also look forward to inspiring others to ignite their greatness. And I appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Board members, we have 3 individuals who are being appointed. We plan on recognizing them in July, as they were not able to make this meeting this evening. The first is Lala Pierce. She will be moving from an assistant principal position at Global Learning Academy to the principal position at Global Learning Academy. And then we have Michael Sullivan. He is coming from California and will be the new principal at Beulah Middle School. And Dawn Turley is coming from the state of Washington and will be the new elementary school principal at Oakcrest Elementary. So they are in the process of relocating, but those are folks we hope to recognize in July. Thank you.
All right, we'll move to our next agenda item. We have one item for first reading, changes to the student progression. Oh,
Go back.
did I miss something?
Yep. Administrative
Oh, I'm sorry.
reappointments.
All right, there's some more people waiting, huh? Okay, so next item is B, administrative reappointments. Is there a motion?
I move we accept the superintendent's recommendation for administrative appointments.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, Superintendent? Does it need to be an introduction then, too? Huh? Okay, so now we can move on to the next agenda item, okay?
Yes.
We have one item for first reading, changes to the student progression plan. Is there a motion?
Move to advertise the changes to the student progression plan.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? If no discussion, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
There are three items requiring a public hearing this month. After a motion and second, I will call for the public hearing before we take a vote. Changes, the first item is changes to school board policy, Chapter 3, School Operations. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to accept as proposed.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Public hearing
Got to do the
first.
public hearing for discussion?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody here to speak as a public hearing? You're down, yeah. All right. If not, any discussion by the board members? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
The next item is changes to the Rights and Responsibility Handbook, 2022-2023. Is there a motion?
I move we adopt the changes to the Rights and Responsibilities Handbook for 2023.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I got it. Okay. We'll open public hearing, and I do have a speaker, Ms. Doller.
Thank you. I reviewed this document through the lens of a parent who is concerned about the overall lack of protections for students stipulated in this document. I'm also speaking with the perspective of parents who have expressed fear of backlash toward their child if they raise concerns. I know there is no intention to make any other changes to this version, so I'm here to ensure that my comments are documented as part of this official public hearing. On page 14, under right number 4, I believe that students should not only have the right to provide input into creating school rules, curriculum, and courses, but they should also have the right to receive a timely formal response from the school or district administration. I believe that an additional right should be included in this section to protect students from retaliation from school administration and school resources officers as a result of exercising their rights, a clause kin to a government whistleblower or retaliation clause of the EEOC. In Chapter 5, Student Conduct, beginning on page 40, the Level 1 and Level 2 Disciplinary Response Code introduction should, in my opinion, include a sentence that school resources officers have little to no jurisdiction over these acts. And under Level 2 CC, infractions regarding demonstrations, petitions, possession, and or distribution of unauthorized publications, I welcome the additional changes, acknowledging their freedom to exercise their constitutional rights. And I appreciate that the students' voices were heard during that April 14th meeting. So thank you. In Chapter 7, Safe Schools, beginning on page 98, I believe there should be a clear understanding regarding the role of school resource officers.
The handbook appears to read that SROs are to be engaged with administration and students regarding potential unlawful matters. However, that was not the case in our experience. There needs to be a distinction about the role these individuals have on our campuses. Officers can exercise their power in ways that teachers and administration cannot, especially if they have personal prejudice toward a student. As such, I believe that the handbook should include that parents have the right to be notified and requested permission to have a meeting with sworn school resource officers on matters of school policy, concerns brought forth to administration by a student or a parent. And I hope you consider my concerns in future versions. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else here for public hearing on this matter? If not, we'll close public hearing. Board discussion. Yes, Ms. Hightower.
I just wanted to say thank you to the students again for bringing this to our attention so eloquently and so professionally. And to Ms. Dollar, who I think has met with many of us, and being able to put that in writing for us so that we can look at it for the coming years. And to your point, Ben, we will make sure in the future that we do a better job of getting the information out for people to know that it's time to do rights and responsibility. We think we were doing a good job, but obviously not everyone was told. So we'll work on that for next year. So thank you for bringing all that to our attention.
Paul?
I too thank Ms. Doler for the time that she took. And I know that her family has gone through some trauma and might have been avoided under different circumstances or situations. Unfortunately, it did not. I do appreciate bringing forward, though, something positive in these recommendations for the future. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Ms. Doler, I enjoyed meeting with you too. So it looks like we got it going the right way. All right, any other discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, the last item is changes to school board policy, chapter 2, human resources. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to accept this and move this motion forward.
Second?
Second the motion.
Public hearing. Do we have anybody that's here wishing to speak in public hearing about this matter? Okay, if not, we'll close public hearing. Board, any discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, the next item of business, approval of the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Is there any items to be pulled?
Yes, sir. I need to pull item 17B.
17B.
I think we need a second to the motion
Hold on a minute.
before we start to pull.
Yeah, let me get it down here. Okay, is there a second to the motion?
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Is there any other items that need to be pulled?
I have 17A.
17A.
And do you want the other one, or you want to wait till you get there?
Yeah, what's the other one?
31E.
31B.
E.
E. Okay, E. Okay. And
I don't think he's announced it
agreement
yet.
community action. Okay.
Does Dr.
You announce
Edler
it?
need to talk about why she's
Yes,
pulling
you
hers?
both will need to state your reasons for abstaining from
Okay.
the vote on the record at the appropriate time.
Paul, you want to go first?
Do it now or wait?
Well, I think you can wait until those individual items are
Okay.
called up.
Oh, okay.
Or either
Okay.
way, it just needs to be on the record as to why you are not voting.
Okay, so we'll vote on the consent agenda minus the pulled items, okay? Any discussion on the consent agenda that we're going to pass here besides the items
Are
being
we
pulled?
clear on which one you pulled?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. We okay now, Ellen?
I'm s-
We're good?
Ms. Dwelly just needed clarification on what item Mr. Fetzko was pulling.
Okay, yeah, he told me 17B. Okay. All right, any other discussion on the items that have not been pulled? Okay, if not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, we'll go to item 17B. A, 17A. And do we have does she need to discuss it first, or can we do the
Yes,
motion?
she needs to
All
state
right,
the
Dr.
reason.
Edler?
I'm abstaining from voting on item 17A, contract between the School Board of Escambia County, Florida, and Community Action Program Committee, due to being a board member for the Community Action Program Committee.
All right, and we got to vote on each one of these individually, right? Okay, so do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve consent agenda 17A, the contract between the School Board of Escambia County, Florida, and the Community Action Program Committee Incorporated.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? If not, please vote. All right, now we'll move on to 17B.
Motion
we need
carries
to-
4-0.
There you go. Now we'll move on to 17B.
All right, I am abstaining from voting on item 17B, the State of Florida statewide voluntary pre-K provider contract due to me being a board member of the Early Learning Coalition.
All right, do we have a motion?
I move the adoption of item 17B, the statewide volunteer pre-K provider contract.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 4-0.
Okay, now to 31E. Dr. Edler?
I'm abstaining from voting on item 31E, cooperative agreement between the School Board of Escambia County, Florida, and Community Action Program Committee, due to being a board member for the Community Action Program Committee.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 31E as provided.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 4-0.
Okay. Where are we at now?
40.
40.
Items from the board. We have an appointment, FSBA Advocacy Committee representative and alternate. Do I have a motion for the representative?
I make a motion to bring this 40A forward, and I also want to recommend or nominate Mr. Kevin Adams to be our representative.
Okay.
Second.
Second?
To both?
To both? Yeah. And, all right, so any other discussion? If not, please vote. I was looking for yours, Patty, down there. I see it. All right. Can I
Motion
have a
carries
motion for the?
5-0.
Can I have a motion for the alternate?
I'd like to make a motion to ask Ms. Patty Hightower to be the alternate to this committee.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. Moving on, we have items from the superintendent.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 41, student discipline. Recommend approval for item A, disciplinary reassignments as noted on the board agenda with details provided in the board backup.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to accept the superintendent's recommendations.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Moving on to other items from the superintendent. The first is the strategic plan. Mr. Superintendent, what is your recommendation?
Recommend approval for item A as noted on the board agenda.
Do I have a motion?
Recommend the adoption of the strategic plan.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Yes, Ms. Hightower?
As I stated at the workshop, I just don't feel like this is a complete plan. I do believe it's well-written, it is very aspirational, but there's not a lot of measurable information in the plan at this point. And I had communicated with the superintendent. I'd like to have an opportunity for the public to know where we are and where we're going.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to have Mr. Dennis talk about the strategic plan and some of the nuances with it.
First of all, thanks for the opportunity to discuss this matter. It's obviously overarching all that we do, with our vision being united for every student to succeed. What you have before you is the culmination of multiple years of continuous work, harvesting information from stakeholders, both the community and a whole host of internal stakeholders, the work product of the executive staff, the superintendent and the deputy, and our partners at ID Group. We believe that what we're presenting to you is the strategic portion of the strategic plan, that which we commonly refer to as the above-the-line overarching strategic aspect of a strategic plan. I will say, to Mrs. Hightower's point, historically in the past we have provided both the strategic and the operational plan portion of strategic plans in aggregate. The reason for stratifying and eventually taking a cascaded approach to rolling out our strategic plan is we want to make sure that we have demonstrated absolute, comprehensive, unified acceptance of the overarching strategic components of this before we engage our area focus teams in working through the metrics, working through what are actually the operational plans associated with carrying out the strategic plan. As you are aware, the strategic plan that you have in front of you began with the core identity statements. There are two aspects to a strategic plan that we absolutely have to have. That is identifying who we are and what we believe our mission and our vision is. And the second is to give substance to our action in those regards. You have 5 areas of strategic focus. I'm happy to tell you, as recently as yesterday afternoon, we began working on the beginnings of formulating the teams that will establish those metrics that Mrs. Hightower is referring to, establishing those drivers that are associated with key performance indicators. We recognize that those indicators, if fulfilled, those drivers, if executed, will in turn add credence to our approaches with those 5 areas of focus and drive our strategic plan towards our ultimate vision. Let me be clear, the plan is intended to provide direction and to provide accountability. The accountability is amplified by the very points that Mrs. Hightower is making, the metrics themselves. But we are not the experts in all those things that we're going to do in those 5 areas of focus. Those experts are sitting behind me and to the side of me. And we want to make sure that those teams are laser focused in those areas that we have articulated, I believe, very clearly in this plan. So to your question, Mrs. Hightower, the next steps are for the area focus teams to begin to meet and establish and refine the drivers associated with each key performance indicator, thereby moving us forward to achieve the ultimate vision in using the 5 areas of focus as the conduit for achieving that ultimate mission and purpose. I hope and I trust I've answered your question, and I hope I've provided enough clarity for an understanding of where we are. There's plenty of work to be done, and as we move into the operational plans, you as a board will receive continuous updates and periodic reports, and hopefully we'll be able to actually participate in those various area focus teams to make sure that your voice is continuously heard throughout this process.
All right. My question is, I understand that this is the strategic part. I'm fine with that. It looks good. I stand behind this. I want to make sure that in the future, at a future date before full implementation, that those metrics and the operational side will come back to the board for review and approval.
I was going to ask that question too. Somebody needs to answer it.
We're both nodding at each other, but the reality is we are not going to engage this much firepower and this much talent sitting behind me and adjacent to me without making sure that we're fully aligned. I want to emphasize this is all about being united. You as a board, Dr. Smith as a superintendent, executive staff, and every person involved, including our community. So absolutely, we will make sure that we bring those back before we go into full enforcement.
Again, that's coming back for review and approval.
Okay? I think what you're hearing, Superintendent, we would like to see whatever plan it is. I think you would have to bring it back to approval of the board. That's my thoughts, but I think that's what you're hearing the request, to bring the, whatever's the finished product back to the board for approval and review.
Historically, that's what's always happened.
Yes.
Because it's always happened at one time.
Yeah.
And so if we're doing it in two sections, I'm fine with that, giving staff this opportunity to use that strategic part to develop the operational part. But I want to make sure that it comes back as a complete document for final approval.
Perhaps I can help with some language to help everyone understand where we're going with this. This is the completion of the strategic portion, and what you're asking is to bring the operational plans associated with the 5 areas of strategic focus, key performance indicators, and drivers also back for approval. So you're looking at the operational portion of the plan.
Correct.
Yes. And I think I see where Paul's going, because it looks like we're approving the strategic plan, period. But there's a part 2 to this. Yes, Mr. Hightower, Mrs. Hightower.
Because I've struggled with whether I'm going to vote yes or no on this, because I don't see enough key performance indicators. I'm not sure we've gotten all those actually spelled out. I'm just not sure about that. So, that's one reason I'm so glad that Mr. Fetzko said that, and Mr. Adams are indicating they want it to come back, because I need to see that we have gotten the right instruments to measure to be held accountable for the process.
So where we're at, as Mr. Dennis said, there's 2 parts that we're looking at using those terms, the strategic and then the operational. So where we're at now is you have the framework before you, the structure, and analogous to a house, the foundation's been poured and solidified, and now we're gonna build the house on it. And so, as Mr. Dennis said, we'll be updating as this emerges. What has to be done now is exactly that component. So it's the first foundational part of the plan that is before you now. The metrics will be coming later, so we're not done yet. We've got more work to do, because the plan, for the plan to have impact and have purpose, purposeful action in the organization, we have to now define how does this foundational piece look when we get to this part of the organization, that part of the organization, this. And I really hesitate to do that, because we don't want to create differentiation. We want unity. So the different components throughout the organization of measures and drivers, that is the piece that has to be worked now. So that's kind of like the regular season is being completed now, and now it's time to go to the playoffs to analogize, bring in further analogy to this. And that's where we have to get into the organizational experts and pull this together. So updates will be coming to you. You'll know what those look like as they develop and progress, because we're not done yet. We've got to complete the job.
I think using your example of a house, getting the foundation, before that house can be lived in, you had to get the final permit. So
Mr.
I think, yes.
If I could make a suggestion, which
Sure.
may address Ms. Hightower's concern, in borrowing the analogy of constructing a house, you may wish to, going forward in doing this, that rather than using the language that we are adopting this, because that does have a note of finality about it.
It does, yeah.
That you say that you approve in concept, or that you approve this phase of this
Yes,
project. And that more accurately reflects that this is a work in progress, and we're not finished yet. So that's just a suggestion that I have.
I really like that suggestion, and I concur with that, and I think that that verbiage makes a lot more sense. I'm going to get back to the analogy of the house under construction. We have the foundation, we have the framework, but now we're in the design element. I've watched a lot of HGTV during the shutdown, and before we get into those design elements, I want to pick out the right marble, not just any marble or laminate or what have you. I want to make sure it's exactly what we want. This document has become, or is becoming, more meaningful to me at this point than previous strategic plans have ever been, for a number of reasons. I think that the work that's gone into it has been really spot on, and it has included the workforce within and the public without, and everyone coming together. I love that. I think that's fantastic. The other thing that's changed is our role and what's going on with this has evolved to something different with the appointed superintendent. And I think that having the metrics that are going to give us the accountability measure that we need for outcomes is going to be very important. And I want to make sure that as we go forward with this, as we progress, that we all have a clear understanding of what's expected, what will be measured, how it'll be measured, and when it will be measured and reported.
Yes, and I think you make a great point with that. And the key, I really like the term that Mr. Dennis used, is the unity. And that's a huge goal, is to be united in all that we do. And so I think that's a concept that's embedded in the plan. And one of the accomplishments that we really hope to attain is not having silos, being one school district for everyone. And so, to your point, you know, as we progress and bring things back to you, those are going to be important moments to see how that definition is taking place. Is it marble or is it another product, so to speak? That's a good analogy. Yes.
Mr. Slayton?
I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I have suffered through maybe 14 years of these things. I almost want to say the analogy we are looking at is that for the first time, we know what the first part is going to be. And everybody seems to have rallied around, I like it. We're not trying to do everything at one time. You know, I'd rather do a plan that takes longer, but everybody gets to participate, everybody gets to establish the goals, everybody agrees upon them, than try to rush through. And we've rushed through before, just because we had to have a strategic plan. But I can't say it was always something that maybe we agreed to it, but the schools, I don't know, understood it. So that's the part I'm applauding. I might actually be able to talk about it and understand it. It doesn't have as many pillars and all the other things that we've had in the past. Let's just talk about what we need to do to establish a strategic plan for the education of Escambia County schools. So I'm good. I'm looking forward to the next part. I have no problem making my motion as I did. Thank you.
Ms. Hightower, would it be satisfactory if we make the motion as?
You'd have to amend the motion.
Right, well, if we amend the motion,
That's
if
what
we,
he's asking.
if we amend the motion, if we make the motion, the amended motion as approving this phase of the strategic plan. Because I agree with you, this does sound like it's the plan that's being approved and it's done, so. Mr. Fesco, are you okay with the amended motion?
There would need to be a motion to amend that would then be second, if there's a second, and then voted upon, and then the motion, if the approval to amend is voted, then that becomes,
All right, does the person who made the first motion have to be the one who makes the
No.
amended
No.
one?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Does anybody want to make a friendly?
There are
Hurt
no
my
friendlies, but
feelings.
what you can do, if I might be a parliamentarian for a moment, what you can do is if there's no objection from the board, it can just be amended.
Is there any objection from the board for this amendment?
I'd like to hear the amendment.
The amendment would be to approve, the motion would be to approve this phase of the strategic plan.
I think that better, we don't want the public to think that you are adopting this as your final plan, because this is not the final plan.
Well, you say it's not the final plan, but it is the
It's a work in
final,
progress.
it's the final part of this part of the plan.
It's the final part one.
Yes.
This is not, this is
And how
not
many
the
parts are
strategic
there?
plan of the school board of Escambia County, presently.
Mr. Dennis stated that there is the strategic part and the operational part. This is our approval of the strategic part of this plan, and we will come back to approve the operational part when that is completed.
So shouldn't that all be in the wording of this motion?
Yes.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead, Bill.
As my
I make a
motion,
motion, I make a motion that we approve.
There's a motion on the floor.
Yes, it's a motion on the floor, so
You have to amend.
we had to amend, so state the
you
amendment.
just didn't say, I would like to amend.
I would like to amend the motion on the floor to state that we are approving the strategic portion of the strategic plan and will continue the process of working through the operational part, which will come back for approval at a later date.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
And then the question is, do any board members have an objection to that amendment
Okay,
as
any
stated?
board members have objection to that amendment? Patty? You okay?
Yeah.
It got a little wordy, didn't it? So, Dr. Edler, I see you. Yeah, he did get a little
But
wordy.
you all had the opportunity to do your own amendments, so I don't want to hear it.
I made the suggestion very simple.
You were just dying to make a motion. Come on.
No,
Okay.
I don't own it.
All right. So do we have a second for the amendment?
We did.
I did.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, please vote.
Are we voting on the amendment or are we voting on the motion?
But we're
I
voting
wonder-
on the
The amended
because
motion.
I think we're voting on the motion because there was no objection.
That's what I'm thinking, so I
stated.
just wanted to make sure everybody knew where we were.
Okay, we're
Jackie.
voting on the amended motion. We're voting on the amended motion. Do you
Right.
have any other comments, Ms. Hightower, before we go on?
I'm just trying to help
It's-
our,
the clock's going, so I
our
wanna- yeah.
recording secretary.
Okay, all right. All right. Is there any other discussion? Please vote. Whew, okay.
Motion carries 5-0.
Remember that when you get on to me about how much time we're taking.
I-
All right. Agreement, next we're going to item B, agreement for legal services. Mr. Superintendent, what is your recommendation?
Recommend approval for item B as noted on the board agenda.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Next item is C, another agreement for legal services. Mr. Superintendent, what is your recommendation?
Recommend approval for item C as noted on the board agenda.
Is there a motion?
I make the motion, we approve item C.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, we'll move on to item D, another agreement for legal services. Mr. Superintendent, what is your recommendation?
Recommend approval for item D as noted on the board agenda.
Is there a motion?
Move to approve services with Mr. Dietz's firm.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Was that D or E?
D?
D.
Dietzen.
D, as in dog.
Thought we did that already.
Oh, we did that, was that one of the ones,
We
no, we
did
didn't.
B, C.
Did
we're
B
now on
and
D.
C and D. We're now, okay, now on D.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Any discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, now we move on to item E. Another agreement for legal services. Mr. Superintendent, what is your recommendation?
Recommend approval for item E as noted on the board agenda.
Is there a motion?
Move
A
to
second?
approve the agreement with Mr. Baker.
Okay, second.
Second.
Any discussion? Please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right, lastly, item F. Mr. Superintendent, what is your recommendation?
Recommend approval for item F as noted on the board agenda with details provided in the board backup.
Is there a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation?
So move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, this now brings us to items from internal auditing. The first item is the inventory adjustment report for 41 cost centers. Is there a motion?
Move to accept the report of the inventory adjustment.
Second.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
The next item is the 2018-2020 District Fraud, Waste, and Abuse Anonymous Hotline Review Report. Is there a motion?
Motion to accept the report is provided.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Lastly, we have Jacqueline Harris Preparatory Academy Title I Payroll Expenditures Review Report. Is there a motion?
Move to accept the report of the audit
Do we
committee.
have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on this item? If not, please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, does any of the board members, superintendent, have any items for the good of the order?
I just want to say one thing to the public. Those last three items under internal auditing, you need to review those and see what a good work our district is doing and being fiscally responsible.
Great job by our auditing department. Any other comments? If not, this concludes our agenda items. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now adjourned.